Uh, The views and opinions of the bunker are that of those individuals taking part, and by no means a reflection of the University Gallery North, and sometimes the individuals themselves. It's hard saying that.
Yeah, important stuff. So we are the bunker. I feel like it might be nice if we introduced ourselves. I'm Sophie.
I'm Olivia.
Ed.
Katie.
Charlie.
So we're a student collective, I guess, doing a radio broadcast. And today we are talking about friendship.
Yay.
Everyone? Yeah?
We're all friends.
We all
here.
still friends here?
Oh, ish. Sorry about the technical difficulties, obviously.
20 minutes late, obviously. Yeah, knock knock.
Who's there?
Tank.
Tank who?
You're welcome.
Oh, wow.
Yay,
That's
my joke. That's my joke for the day. Let's carry on.
Lovely. Thank you, Charlie. So today we're going to talk about friendship, and friendship kind of, obviously I think we all have an idea of what we think friendship is in general as a social thing, but we want to kind of chat a bit about what we think friendship means when you put it into an art context, and how that can change friendship.
You can definitely change a friendship right now.
Right now?
Right now.
Right now.
With this. It can make or break.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to start us off? Because you had some interesting thoughts.
Cool. So I've actually got a article written by Rebecca Boswell, and she says a lot of things about friendship in general within the art institution. And she just brings up some quite interesting points that we could discuss with everyone.
Right, like what?
Shoot.
Shoot away.
Shoot us.
So a lot
Not
of it is
literally.
just about the relationship between art and friendship. Well, friendship, like within a workplace, but then how it changes if you're at an art school. So
Can you
expand.
Can you
could you elaborate on that,
find
please?
a bit because I'm gonna read it out.
Because I kind of know what you mean, like as in like I was thinking about it a lot, and I think the difference between friendships with other people, kind of like friendships with people from art school, so different to other friendships because they have another function.
Yeah.
But like, and function doesn't sound like the right word. Like it sounds really corporate and really.
But it does work like that.
Yeah.
Not,
Or you think friendships in an art context have a function? Is that what you're saying?
Not like they don't have to have a function, but
most of the time they
I'm
do.
right here. I had a better word. Like, as in, like, I think especially for me and Katie, because we do quite a lot of work together. Like, a lot of our work together wouldn't be possible without our friendship. I think the strength of our friendship is a really important part of that, and it helps us to make that work.
Yeah.
Would you think that?
You look like you might disagree. She actually hates me.
No, I do. We couldn't make work if we weren't friends.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I wrote down actually about collaboration and friendship. Whether you can you make work with people who aren't your friends, and like is that more difficult or easier because it's a more professional relationship.
Yeah.
Because ours
But
is not professional.
in like a chicken and egg way, even if you were making work with someone who's not your friend, if you just spend that much time with them and you're always making work with them, a friendship can probably develop out of that anyway.
Yeah, and if you have similar interests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was me and Sophie were talking yesterday actually about being within when you're in the art world or trying to curate yourself and navigate through it, you have to be willing to like open yourself up to other people and you have to go looking for them and create like your own network of things. They're not gonna it's not like if you worked as a bartender and you have the ability to work yourself up naturally just through being there. You could spend years in the art world, and if you isolate yourself off, you're never going to get anywhere. Like you have to be quite an open-minded, outgoing person, I think.
Well, we were talking about you being a bartender yesterday, weren't we? Saying that there's very friendly. You have to be very friendly and kind of like offer yourself up. And that's what you get people back, like coming to you, and you kind of go, oh, you gave me free drinks, but. So it's kind of like, could be to do with their labour exchange and the kind of friendship that you kind of put in and you get out.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah,
So
'cause
do you
But
think
it's different
that
in
friendship and
bartending
work.
because it's not necessarily you're being more friends with the customers than the people
you're
you
being
work with.
friendly, you're not being their friend?
Yeah, friendly.
Yeah, I think there's definitely
But
different.
I
I
feel
don't
like-
class like the customers as my friends. Like as hard as
You,
that sounds.
Yeah.
you're being friendly with
Yeah.
to them with like a corporate or like commercial purpose, really,
Yeah.
aren't you? You know, like even if you want to enjoy your job, you're doing it because the company that you work for wants you to present that image and to
Yeah.
be friendly and to have friendly staff. Whereas
You're doing this.
I hope that's
more
not
for
what like,
yourself.
your actual friendships
Yeah.
are for. If they are, that's a little bit messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a self-indulgent. I think I would go like to make friends within the context of like pursuing yourself as an artist. It has to be quite a self-indulgent thing because you have to look and think, what can I get out of things? What can I get out of the relationship with other people?
Yeah.
And then from there you build up collaborations because ultimately you can't think of everything yourself and you can't do everything yourself. So you need to do.
Is that self-indulgent or is that like
Narcissistic.
no,
like you were talking about this earlier.
opportunistic
Yeah, but
in a way?
Or
Yeah.
looking for it.
Well, as in, like, if you see something and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this could be a good. Do you know? I like.
This
I
could be
feel like a
useful.
lot of the words that I've been thinking about that apply to this, like using friendship as a strategy for making, and that you need to have good networks of people to help you make, and that you want to seize opportunities. Like they all can have quite negative connotations because they can be quite corporate and they can seem quite like using.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
you're
I'm-
reducing friendship
Yeah,
to like
but
this.
I don't
Yeah.
mean them in that sense. I just don't know a better word to use necessarily.
Well, it was like she was saying something else in this article about like we use collaboration. What's that word that's on the article? Nepotism.
I've got an article.
like-
yeah,
on
yeah.
that.
yeah. Like we say all these words, but we wouldn't necessarily say, "Oh, I'm just doing it with my friends," because
Yeah.
like it adds a like casual tone, like
It
it's not
takes away
work.
like
Yeah.
the professionalism.
Yeah.
of
So
it.
What, so
like
you'd say my collaborator?
yeah,
not my
like
friend?
are we embarrassed to say that we're just working with our friends on something like?
Yeah.
That's serious.
Because we are still like on a course, like paying for it, doing like work. Would we necessarily like get the same?
So you don't see collaboration with friends as professional?
Well, no, like would you say? But you said like collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just working with
collaboration.
friends.
Just not you're just.
Are
not
you-
just,
But
like,
you're
working
embarrassed
With,
to say that you're
well,
just working with friends.
well, it's like, are you?
What are the
Not-
connotations?
Or like, where's the starting point? Are you working with them because they're your friend and you want to work with your
Yeah.
friend, or did you want to collaborate with them and they happen to be your friend?
Yeah.
And but also,
Which
does
way
that
round?
matter?
Or did the
Yeah,
friendship
does it
come
matter
from the
which way round?
collaboration?
Yeah.
Chicken or egg?
I've already
Friend
used
or
that
friend?
metaphor. I have indeed.
I
Friend
indeed
hasn't
was
been
listening.
Ed obviously does not listen.
to call it friendship is quite a weird thing because I would value the values I place upon not necessarily something because I class you guys all my friends outside. I think there's just you kind of go into it. Maybe there isn't a difference between the values. Maybe you go into a different headspace when it comes to like this is I think what you're trying to think about is using it as like what can you gain from things and what can you use to. I think that would not necessarily be friendship for me. Friendship is more about the people that are there when everything else is not there. Like the people that like if you have no money, they're the ones that would take you out for a drink and wouldn't ask for it back. Like friends are people that you can be there to count on, whereas these are kind of more like
But do they always have to be separate?
Yeah, I'm thinking
because
those
I feel
aren't
like
mutually exclusive.
yeah, me
Yeah.
and Sophie are friends.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
like, as in, like, you have a friendship with someone, but then if they're also a person that operates, like, within an art school or art world context, does that change the nature of your friendship because you're no longer just have that social function and that
Yeah.
caring, emotional kind of responsibility, or I don't know what the word is, but you also kind of, like, I don't think that, like, it's not like, I'm not like, oh, I need to use Katie.
no.
Katie is my work.
It is your work.
Yeah, I think the idea of a friend goes beyond this like just this basic like oh we can be pals. If you need someone, there's someone to go. Like if you take that put it into like your work life, you then start to like oh how can we benefit each other. I think that's probably a better way of putting it. Rather than, like what can I
Yeah.
get from you? It's like how can we benefit each other?
Yeah.
But I also
Would
think
be-
that like we've worked together in the past, our practices are completely different. But it's not. I think it's not necessarily that we
So
think
what made you
the same.
want to work together then? Was
Yeah.
it the fact that you were friends?
Yeah, well, maybe.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that's a good
but,
question.
But I'd say that we don't think alike, but it's more the fact that we are thinking together that's the important bit.
Yeah, I think it's just the idea that we like admire each other as people and as artists, and we would quite like to like push that in.
Yeah. So that is a case where like workers come from.
So admiration, then kind of like friendship comes from the love of the other person to kind of go, no, actually they're really good. So a lot of people always kind of like also think with collaborations, especially within the art schools, there's that you piggyback off someone else's maybe good grade or good practice, that then the friendship becomes a little bit more strained when you kind of go, well actually no, we are actually benefiting both people.
Yeah. And it has to be, otherwise that's not
it's got to be equal.
Yeah. You spend like at the end of the day, this course is intensive. You spend it every single day here from like what 10 till 5. Would you say would be fair?
Some people
not. But if you utilise the course properly to the way that like you expect it to do, you'd be spending every living second with these people. So it's all about the interactions you build and like how you can benefit each other by bouncing off each other. And that's where like it becomes important to make friends with people and talk to people. Because then you feel more comfortable to talk about these things that can be quite private to a lot of people. Once you build a relationship and a friendship, you then have the ability for them to come in and suggest things and push each other's practice to something that's more than just like your own thoughts. Like recently, I've noticed that, especially when been hanging out with you guys, and people offering stuff. Because I have this ability to, well, not an ability, it's not an ability, it's more of a hindrance, like just sitting inside my own head and being like, no, this is the way I like to make work, but it's not necessarily, because I can't think of everything, and it's been allowed me to let go of that more with thinking about work collaboratively.
Yeah.
I watched the School of Life's Purpose of Friendship video on YouTube, and the 4 things that they said on there was that it was for network and reassurance, fun and clarity of our mind. So
that's what friendship is.
That's what we're
But those 4
you.
things are what friendship is.
It's the purpose of friendship.
The purpose.
What was it? Sorry, can you say them again?
So the first one is networking.
Yeah.
And then.
And are these in like a hierarchy? Did they say that these were like?
They presented in the video just
like 4 things.
4 things.
They're not like
the other.
But they
that's one.
didn't.
Okay.
No. But what would you prefer? Networking, reassurance, fun, or clarity of mind?
Clarity of mind.
Yeah, clarity of mind sounds nice, doesn't it?
Fun and clarity of mind.
Yeah.
Would networking come last?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a
Because that's one of the
byproduct
topics.
of
Yeah.
I
Most
definitely
relevant.
want clarity of mind right now.
Do your friends give you clarity of mind?
But they're just confusing.
But when you're working with your friends in like a collaborative sense, do you think that for example, do you think that helps us have clarity of mind?
No, it just complicates things.
Yeah.
Then in the same instance, like if I'm really struggling with a thought about my work and I go to someone, I just need reassurance. Just like, and I go to someone, if I go to Olivia and she goes, oh no, like just stick with it, like it's good. Don't doubt it, just push it. And then you just kind of have a minute. You're like,
it's just about exercising those thoughts when you get a bit like, I don't know, you start to you run with it too far in your head and you just need to do it.
Yeah. And you need
that's more you.
That's more me. That's probably me than anything else.
So what do you think it is that like draws you specifically then to wanting to work with a friend as a collaborator? Is it the energy of the person?
Yeah.
Because like you said, your practices don't.
They don't line up really at all, apart from it being that we're in the same seminar group.
I think it's something that allows you to do something different.
Yeah.
So like, when we had the Kaggle yesterday, and Susie Green was saying that she does painting on her own, like that's her individual practice. But then when she's working with her like best friend, that's the time like she does this kind of like really experimental stuff, which is kind of like I think how collaboration works with other people that don't necessarily have a similar practice to yourself. You just go into like something you probably wouldn't do if you were.
Yeah. You scrap your own practice.
Yeah, and you just like I'm
collaborative
just
one.
like something completely new.
So do you think friendship is then quite like a liberating thing to allow you to make work?
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think, Ed?
Did you say collaboration?
No, like friendship.
Friendship,
Do you think friendship can be in a way like a material or a strategy in its own in making?
I'd say a strategy.
Liberated to just do shit you wouldn't do on your own. Do things.
I think like activity, like it comes into it as well.
Yeah.
Like, you can you bring people together to that maybe you don't know, that you're not friends with, but then these activities that through the arts kind of like through your collaboration, through bringing something to the table, kind of thing, like just sort of build on like art is the strategy. Friendship.
You're gonna have to repeat that, or rephrase that. I was not getting that, and I was slightly tuned out.
As in, like activities can really help people learn, like with
What
each
kind
other.
of activity?
So art activities. So like anything that's got like sort of a material-based collaboration, like with someone else. So here, pass this piece of paper on Liv, and then...
Yeah, it's like that thing we did in year 1 when with Judy and...
Well, Charlie's
Pass the
favourite
shoe.
thing ever.
Yeah, the shoe thing.
Pass
It was
the
the best
shoe.
thing ever.
My favourite thing.
Oh, where
ever.
you
The
wrote
shoe.
shoe.
When,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
oh,
just
you know when
wrote
we
shoe.
drew,
Just wrote shoe, yeah.
we drew the shoes and
So
then we like
meta.
passed it around and we got quicker
Yeah.
each time.
Yeah, and it was like 10 seconds, 5
Yeah.
seconds. Shoot, just wrote it down.
Yeah.
The lazy man always wins.
That kind of activity.
Yeah, I think so. Like with that, and then obviously you remember that. And
Yeah.
then kind of in your mind, it builds up the friendships through sort of doing stuff.
So in an art context, then, do you think that the making comes first, the friendship second?
Ooh.
I think it's a
mixture?
Yeah.
it's
What
a
about-
two-way road.
Specifically, if you think about
It's a
like...
dual carriageway.
It's a dual carriageway.
Dual carriageway of
'cause
friendship.
for like Liv and Charlie, it sounds like you guys feel like when you work together, your friendship came first. And then
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
came second.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
work
that-
with
that's-
Georgia, what would you
We were
say?
friends first
Friends
Yeah.
as
first.
well. Yeah.
And we were friends
We were
first.
friends. We literally
Are
you
just worked
still
together because we didn't know what to do on our
Yeah,
own.
we didn't know. Yeah, we basically weren't sure what we were doing in our own individual practices, so we're like,
And as we said
As a
last
starting
night, we were
point.
joined at the hip. So,
So is it easier to work with like someone else than work on your own?
I guess you can bounce your ideas.
Or
you
is
know-
it's like quicker process?
but do you not?
Do you know anyone that does work with someone who's done or like
Who's
made the artwork first and then become friends?
Yeah, do we know anyone?
I would say that we've done that with Gail.
Yeah.
I think we've started work with her professionally, and I would like to think I've developed a friend.
She can't hear you.
She's running away.
Get away from me!
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
in that case, the professional relationship
Yeah.
comes first.
I think it just depends. Like, at what point would you class someone as a friend? I was going to ask that. At what point? What do you think is the component in to make friends with somebody?
Do you
I
want
was-
to know the
I was
definition
wondering
of friendship
Yes,
according to
please.
Google?
Yeah.
Would love
It
that.
says
Is it Wikipedia or is it it's like a
it's Google.
It's Google.
Google. So the definition of friendship is the emotions or conduct of friends, and it is the state of being friends.
That
The
doesn't
state
make
of
any
being-
sense.
So
Then
it's-
find
Okay,
the
so now
definition
I-
of friends
yeah.
I want to know
now.
what is the state of being friends.
Yeah.
The state of being friends.
Synonyms are obviously relationship, friends. This is
If you guys got anything to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
feel
We've
free.
got a couple of people in the gallery, so you know, you all really. If you've got anything that you would want to add, you're so welcome.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a bond
Holla.
of mutual affection, or typically one exclusive of sexual or family relations?
Sexual?
What?
Exclusive.
Quickly.
What?
One
Just say-
exclusive of sexual relations with.
Oh,
So like your
What's he
relationship.
saying?
one.
I'm talking about the definition of
Oh,
friend.
we were talking to them if they
Yes.
want to join in.
Yeah, and
and
I'm
you were
saying-
like,
Yeah, but
sexual
he tried to
relationship?
be smooth, adding the definition
That was
in.
smooth jazz radio going on right now.
This is Mid Morning Matters with Alan Partridge.
Interject right now. Yeah, so a person with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically one exclusive of sexual or family relations.
So is what it's saying on this is that
Friendship is sexual. or
Friendship-
family.
no,
No,
exclusive.
Friendship.
Sexual.
They're saying like it's different to.
You can be friends with someone who you're sexual with
right.
as well.
I thought it was saying
No,
you
it's
develop
saying
friends for
friendship
the
is normally
reason.
without that.
Yes, but you can be as well.
Yeah, it's saying normally exclusive.
Yeah.
I don't know, Liv.
I thought that was saying.
Well, I'm different.
I thought that was saying you develop friends with the hope to develop sexual exclusive relations.
Well, how would you develop family relations with them?
I don't know. I just got so confused.
Friendships are like to distinguish them from like people you might also be close to,
Because
but in a family
should really
context
be
or a
friends with your
relationship
family,
or
but not
sexual
everyone is.
context.
And you should
But you're not necessarily friends
should
with
be
your family.
friends with.
I don't think I'm friends with my nan and granddad.
Friends
But
through
I'm family with
default.
them. Or am I?
Yeah, would you call your family your friends? Probably
What was
not.
Actually, my nana, probably, yeah, my nan and granddad, I think.
Yeah.
What did Camille say?
That's
Quote,
so true.
quote from Camille: "Bonds formed by choice are better than bonds formed by blood." I
That's
guess that
because
kind of
you-
comes back to the idea: you choose your friends, you don't choose your
Yeah,
family.
I kind of feel like that relates to the idea of being forced into student halls at in first year. You're forced to be friends with these guys, but in reality, didn't want to be around. I was saying to you yesterday, I was walking, like, I'm forced into this space, into this weird, like, flat that we lived in, and I was forced to be around people that I didn't really like.
But you could. But
do you know what I
If
mean?
you're listening, don't get offended.
I'll just put a disclaimer back.
like coming to uni and working with all these people that you didn't know before, you're like forced to try and be friends.
Yeah.
I think I think there's that many people in our course though that like I kind of naturally drifted towards people that
Are like-minded?
I can.
You end up finding friends.
Yeah.
You
Whereas-
can't. You don't force friendships. Like you might move into a flat and
Yeah.
you might have got on really well with people, but
Yeah.
there's no guarantee, is there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family, you're stuck with them, unfortunately.
We are, like, our friends wrote down loads of stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually, yeah, we'll have a look at
Oh,
some of
yeah.
these.
Explain what it is.
We did this. We've decided that every week we're going to put out flyers in the Kaggle lectures, which are at Northumbria every Wednesday, and just put flyers out for asking people about their opinions on the topics that we're going to talk about. And we wrote the questions were: what are your thoughts on friendship? And write a question about friendship. So it'd be good. I think we'll read a few out, and then some of the good questions we'll maybe talk about for a bit.
They're all good questions.
They're all,
Yeah.
they're
They're all good
I'm not
answers,
saying that
yeah.
they're all in,
The most relevant.
the most
Yeah,
relevant ones,
and
yeah.
legible.
So we've got from this nice, lovely person, it's a nice thing to have, friendship.
Smiley face.
Smiley face, yeah. Do the amount of friends you have define how nice you are as a person?
Oh, that's a good one.
Do the what?
Do the amount of friends you have define how nice you are as a person?
What, like it's something that you collect?
Doubt it.
Like stickers?
Yeah.
Like, is
Yeah.
it?
Oh, you've
Like
been nice
achievement.
today.
You're-
One new
you're-
friend.
Yeah, it's like people it's probably like people gravitate towards you because you're a nicer person. So the more people that gravitate towards you and you're friends with, the
I don't know.
nicer you are
I don't
as a
think that's
person.
necessary.
Olivia's been shuffling a chair closer to me, so must be a nice person.
You must have been nice today.
It kind of brings it back to that kind of popularity thing, though, that it's kind of like people who have a lot of friends,
Mhm.
you know.
But I think it also links back to our favourite thing, the personality quiz.
Oh,
yeah.
yes. If you haven't taken it,
Yeah. just because like you can be super nice, but like different people enjoy and don't enjoy having a bigger network of people. Like you might not like just some people just like to have a few close friends, and they don't like to have lots and lots of friends.
One of the
Yeah.
things
that
I've written
doesn't
on
reflect on their niceness.
in my
Yeah.
notes is a lack of a number of friendships limited in the art world. So is that relevant?
A lack of number of friendships in the art world.
Yeah,
you,
like as in like a
rephrase?
lack of
Yeah.
a lack of friendships within the art world, as in like who you know.
So
do you
not
think that-
knowing many people in
So
the
yeah,
art world
it's-
and not
it's-
having
I
friends.
quite-
Wouldn't necessarily like being friends with them, because you can know people, you can
Right.
like network enough to know
So it's
them.
that kind of like fake friendship,
Yeah.
faux friendship.
Just
Yeah.
like
Oh.
a hello goodbye conversation friendship.
Yeah.
But do you know
rather
to
than
get
a
that?
friendship.
Yeah. See, that was
Like I know of, and I can talk to them when I go
I
to this
can I can
gallery,
know the face and I can
but
give
you're
them
not
a-
actually.
But you don't meet for coffee.
yeah.
acquaintances. Then when there's a difference, yeah, they're just acquaintances.
Yeah.
Aren't they? Yeah, I know a lot of people that I just go say hi to. Like there's this like from where I'm from in Yarm, there's this like everyone thinks they're like really they know everyone and like they like want to have this like thing where like, oh, we know everyone, we've got the ball every weekend and like talk to each other and we wave at each other. But in reality, when you realise and you move away and you go back, it's like people that you don't really bother about seeing if you never saw them again. But people have this mentality that are like, that they think that just a wave is like friends. You know what I mean? They don't develop this relationship beyond that. And I think that would be. Is that kind of what you mean? Just people that you just always acquaintances.
But like, how is that? How does that limit you?
Yeah.
If you say that
because I feel like you can't.
You're welcome to come up and join.
Yeah, pull a chair if you want to talk.
You can pull up a pew.
So say if that person doesn't like have.
I
as
think
many
that's really
networks
in
like-
the art world.
Well, it's
It-
quite
it is.
isolating as well.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard to go about.
And the art world like sustains itself on friendships, I feel.
Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, because
for good and for bad, because it's good you need support, because I think if you want to work in the art world, that's actually quite hard in the sense that it's really different to having a normal job. Like we were saying, you have to be able to do everything yourself, because you're probably going to be self-employed, so you need to do your own tax return, you need to be able to do practical things, you need to have good technical knowledge, you need to be really organised, but you also need to be really sociable, and you're also your own PR, so and no one comes to you normally until you get to a really well-established level. You always have to go and put yourself out there.
But especially as a student as well.
Yeah.
It's made tenfold.
Yeah.
They have to learn each skill to kind of know.
Yeah.
But then that could come back down to the whole labour exchange of friendship.
Yeah.
It is that kind of going, well, I know how to do this, and I want to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
So you can teach me, and I'll teach you, or I'll put this wall up for you, and that's a very
But that's what's good with a friendship, because if you didn't have that, you would literally be left to do that all on your own. I think it would be really hard to survive. And stay motivated if you felt like you had no one who understood that and who could relate to that and who you could share that with.
I definitely want a deeper relationship with someone to be able to do that, like a friendship, rather than just an acquaintance. Don't think I could be able to exchange, labour exchange of people that I was just waved at in the street. Do you know what I mean? I feel awkward.
But also, how could you be entirely on your own? How can, because you're always gonna need help from someone.
Yeah.
You're always gonna, need a help from a technician or.
Yeah, there is a few things in here that people are quite negative on friendship though. Just saying that, we've obviously covered quite a positive view of it.
Yeah.
Do you want to read some
spread them around.
Spread them around.
Yeah, give them out.
Take some.
Also, just to add, we've been joined at the table by a wonderful member of the gallery audience today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
You have to speak up.
How are we doing it? So, hello, I'm Camille Goody, fellow second year student.
Woo. Welcome to the table, Camille. And everyone else, you're always welcome to come and join in if you feel like you've got anything to add. So if you've been listening for a while, Camille, and what are your thoughts on the whole, how does being involved in that art context make a friendship different or change that? And I think for you as well, because you're in a band as well, you've got
It's interesting, and I think
sorry, just dropped my pen.
I think there's a different layer to it, because you have to draw not a line between friendship and professionality, I don't know, but at some point there's if you're doing work with somebody as an artist or musician or any sort of creative aspect, even if you mates, you sometimes prioritise the task at hand and just go, right, look at that stuff out the window, all the niceties, can we get on with X? And I think that's maybe a different angle to look at it. I'd enjoy it from the start. I don't know if that's been discussed, but I think looking at something more practically, and I can't think of the word, you could say officially almost, as opposed to a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
As a means to an end, is that what you mean?
But not in the sense of that those two things they're mutually exclusive, or they can't exist with each other. But I think it's sometimes you can see that it's apparent.
You can see that you
can tell when, say, a relationship in work, if you're collaborating with somebody, maybe you aren't pleased with the way they're getting on, or you think that's fucking bad or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Any scenario could come up, and then you can see that deviation between the friendship and then the professional side, somebody coming out, and there's a definite difference in those two, but they do still like coalesce. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, because you've got to kind of like, especially when you're on like a BA course or like doing sort of any course, you kind of, if you are working collaboratively, you have to know when the other person is right, which is something that Georgia and I both work from. Which
Should I come to the table,
she's because it's the kind of like knowing when they're right, when your professional mind kind of goes, oh, actually. I want it to look like this, but I can't because
your friendship
there is a
says
friendship.
Bicker. Your professional says actually they have the right
back down.
I've noticed that, especially with starting this broadcast thing. There's a lot of compromise because I'm like quite headstrong with like the visions that I have, and I've like had a lot of put a lot of ideas forward, which is like. Just like kind of do whatever.
Shoot you down.
Like a lazy.
We reined him in.
It's quite good though to have them people around that like go, you know what, like not maybe we do need to do it this way because like there is a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't really know how to explain it.
The negotiation is
it's good to have that.
Yeah, it's a big skill, and that we've all learned as part of this experience.
Definitely. I think like as well it can. Being a friend of someone as well as their collaborator can give you a license to maybe say things they need to hear a bit more.
Yeah.
So like when me and Katie did Betty and the Rat do speed dating or make tea or whatever we want to call it.
Yeah.
And I was so stressy in the morning because I wanted the chairs to be very particular colour and to be in like this specific places. And she was such like, you need to calm down. And I was really cross.
Professional or friendship?
That was friendship because
like professionally she needed to say that because that would have impacted on what we were doing
because there was bigger things to focus on.
But as a friendship,
and we were running out of time. But like she wouldn't have maybe said it like in that way or felt able to say it if we hadn't had that friendship to fall back on. Because I was then like after like 30 seconds, she did literally shake me. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, I feel chill now, and I was fine. So
I feel chill now.
I just need a good shake from. Key, and I'm like fine.
It's good that there's people there like that. That I think I'm gonna have to learn to accept other people's opinions more. I think I've learned a lot. Especially with this, I keep going back to it like some sort of sob story. I think it is. I've just had like quite a bit of an enlightenment of the whole idea of it. Like I think it's more crucial than people make it out to be. It's more of an important catalyst within being an artist and everyone. Then you get like people give it credit for. I think it's like something which is quite weird because, well, like I was saying, there's a negative one. There was like this one. What are your thoughts on friendship? I don't need them. And then write a question about friendship. What does it do? I think we've already covered that.
What does friendship do?
Yeah, what does friendship do? Are we talking about like friendship? Because there's two levels of friendship we talk about here. We've got the basic emotional level of friendship where you have people that you need, if they're there you need them, and then you've got like you take it to like a professional level. So
I wonder like which type that person was writing about there. I don't know.
I think because of the structure of the questions, people are normally on about friends,
like social
friends. So people that like, because you got like would love to have one someday. What's it like to be loved?
Oh,
I know. Sad.
I think that's a good idea that you're touching on. And if I just very briefly backtrack to what Charlie said, acquaintance is a word. Acquaintance is a word I've tried to incorporate into my vocabulary as of recent because I think with how many people you interact with in your life now, you do have to differentiate between, like you said, the people you can't just say hello to on the street and all the people that you will like confide in and tell them quite literally everything about your life. And it's kind of that stereotypical, oh, he's my BFF or my best friend. But then you do actually have those.
There's
levels.
different tiers, isn't there?
And I think that's gone out of the window ever so slightly with how many people you know because everything's kind of melted into one pot. And I'm sure you've seen it, but that great sketch from Peep Show.
Charlie loves Peep Show.
where he bumps into his friend in the supermarket, and they both have that mutual understanding of we've seen each other once. We
Can't
don't
say
need to have
no
a
again,
conversation.
yeah.
We've got nothing to talk about. And then they kind of say hello, and he goes, I shouldn't ask the question, I should just leave now. But he asked the question anyway, and then a full conversation comes out of it. Both parties feeling completely estranged to it, but it's like going, but you do it because you think you're friends. But really, if you can just go, we just know each other, and just wave bye.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, sometimes I'd like grit my teeth when I have to like say hello to someone and like I don't really know, or like say for example when I go back home, someone stops to, like says hello to me, and then they ask me how I'm doing. I'm like, I really don't want to talk to you. Like it's hard.
You don't mean you don't mean to, it's not being rude. It's just kind of going, this isn't something I have with you.
Yeah.
Or like,
you
do
know
you
that
really
as well.
care who I am?
I spent like it's normally people that like have spent my whole secondary school, college life. They never spoke to me. They will always have a different group of friends, but now they're older. Cool.
They want something from you, though.
Yeah.
There must be something that they want.
They want from me. Yeah.
But if you're feeling this,
What if they just want a greeting?
Yeah, they just like.
I just want to agree. I just find it weird. Like you've all like, if anything, some of them are the people that like mocked me and stuff, and then it's like you come and they say hello, like how are you doing? As if like I've always been friends with you. I was like, hang on a minute, like it might just be me being skeptical about the whole idea of developing friends, but it's like. I've got my group, like there was a question there, it's like, is it good to have a small group of friends or a large group? And I think a small group, it's like they've been there from the beginning for me, that small group of friends, and I develop them as I go across in the new endeavours in my life.
Yeah.
Rather than just going, you know what, I could be like, I'm sociable with everyone, but as far as like friends go, like.
So as a group of like 50 odd people in your year group.
Yeah.
Like friends wise. You've got to work, and you change every year. That you change seminar groups, you do all that. But how would you kind of like stay friends with people?
Yeah.
Like how big is your circle of friends within
university?
Sort of university, yeah.
I think like especially when it comes to like the seminar groups and stuff. There's always seems to be a couple of people that I have a group like. I end up
that
developing
drop off.
Yeah.
Now you kind of going, okay, they're not contributing.
Yeah. You always get them, the ones that don't like just sit in the back kind of thing or whatever. Like, but then I develop a group of friends that exist with outside of this, like the timetable of university, and I think I probably have recently and since I've been here going back to that group of friends in which I then use to do things. Not use, we like. I just use to do things. So the ones that I'm more comfortable with exploring things with, rather than because I wouldn't like necessarily go up to someone that I don't talk to and be like, oh, do you want to do this thing? Like, I feel they'd weird about it. Like some people probably would. Like I know people that would just go up to someone and just ask, do you want to do this thing?
Well, that's what happened with you two. Do you want to do this thing?
No, we were already friends.
But also, like.
Oh, okay. So like just randomly, like.
Yeah.
Just a collab.
Yeah.
So.
But especially to do with you, like, how do you feel about having like multiple friends within like uni? Because you're the third year.
Very likeable. Thank you.
No, but I mean, like,
Nobody said that.
I'll put the disclaimer.
Ed's at the top of the niceness scale.
No, but like you're in third year, you have like Georgia, you've got, you did that like art drive, Georgia.
Yeah.
You had the art drive, and then you kind of got this, like our group of people. Like having kind of these multiple like working friendships. Like how does that kind of fit in?
What's the phrase? Working friendship.
Working.
That's a really interesting.
Well, that's loaded.
Gonna write that
Like double
back to
cheeseburger.
that. Thanks.
Work related.
Well, like Sophie and I have a nickname for me, and like a sort of Eddie Pie fingers, which is basically having a pie on each finger, and I think it's that kind of cross sort of pollination of projects that kind of keeps me kind of
relevant.
I'm not trying to be relevant.
Guys.
It's kind of more about cause within my practice it's more about kind of like getting people to come together, or kind of seeing the possibilities of friendship blossoming that's outside of my own. So the cross-curricular facilitation.
Enzyme.
I've got a new nickname. 'cause I'm Eddie.
Bring you into the cell.
Osmosis.
Yeah, it's kind of like
I'm just saying biology words now.
Osmosis kind of works though, because he's
I don't know.
Well, yeah, because it does.
I do flat membrane. Yes.
I'm leaking into your brain right now as well.
the puppeteer.
So yeah, I think it's about kind of seeing these groups and kind of being the sort of spider's web that keeps it all together. Keeps it all together.
Okay.
That's a
Doesn't keep it
big thing to
together.
put on your shoulders.
Yeah.
That, man.
It's not keeping it together.
So would
It's
the
more-
fall apart without you?
No, that's where the problem lies. As well.
Yeah.
Let's
It's
test
more
it.
about it. I was going to say something else, but that sounds even worse.
Tie yourself in a knot, Ed.
I was going to say the spider's webs fill in the cracks, but that's sort of awful, isn't it?
That's your mind, not
Yeah.
ours.
Are you trying to say it helps you because you need?
I don't think it needs to help me. I think I just get...
You just
Do you
get
not
an
think it
enjoyment
does help
out
you
of.
though?
Yeah, it definitely
Well, a lot
does.
of people have been saying I've looked awful for the last few months, so I don't think these little
Looks
projects
incredibly
have
ill.
helped.
Yeah.
I'll go on live stream now.
But you do enjoy doing them.
Yeah, no, I definitely do enjoy doing them. I just...
So more maybe it's your enjoyment out of like partially what you can get, but also like seeing it progress for other people.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Do you like making work on your own, or do you only like making work with friends?
Mm.
Or do you make work with people who aren't friends? Like, not as in you don't like them, but are they like, what were we saying
Estranged.
earlier, like acquaintances,
Estranged.
or
We
like
are
people you're
estranged.
friendly with but not friends with?
I'm friendly with most people.
Yeah, but that's not the same as being
And-
friends.
Let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'd say I was friendly with most people, but I think I also consider a lot of people friends as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, I am in sort of trying to engage that friendship, but on their behalf, I don't know, this sounds weird,
Sounds like you're trying to be
What are you trying to
altruistic.
say?
maybe.
So you don't think that you get anything out of friendships?
Nah, fucking, no.
Whoa!
This is
Sorry about the language.
for me, it leads on to a question about altruism. It's like, can you, if you're going to take it from your perspective of being
Yeah.
like a facilitator and trying to develop these, and being kind of like the linchpin of these webs, and are you doing it? Why? Because Olivia said, are you to like to see how they progress further themselves as individuals? Would you say that is an altruistic act? And if so, can you ever be truly, properly altruistic without having some kind of like?
What does altruistic mean?
Like doing things just for someone else.
Okay.
So, like
Completely selfless.
Yeah.
A completely
Which I don't think
selfless
you
act.
can be.
I don't think you can either.
Well, it's like in Friends when they try
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
Do it.
Have you read
Selfless. Like Joey tries to do something completely. Is it Joey or Phoebe?
Phoebe?
Phoebe tries to do something.
And Joey
complete-
says she can't.
Yeah.
And then because everything you do, even if you do it for someone else, like in a way it does also impact on you, and the things you tend to do again and again tend to impact well on you.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're on like a self-destructive role.
Well, I'll just, sorry,
As in,
I'm like kind of processing it in my head right now, and I've kind
So-
of got like an idea. It's like I would put on a project that, so there are different kinds of projects obviously that you can put on, and there's a lot of people that put them on to benefit themselves and the progression of their own practice.
Yeah.
That kind of, it's not the kind of the narcissistic sense, but it's more like this is my project, and then it's kind of like the Grant Kester, Claire Bishop kind of socially engaged. Kind of scale, so which end are you on, and it's the other side where it's like I'd rather do a project and not have my name on it.
Yeah,
but then it comes into that community.
Yeah, but as in like, so you're doing that because you want to facilitate other people's opportunity for doing an event, doing whatever, building community. But what if we're thinking from your question about altruism, you're not getting nothing out of doing that, even if all you're getting is a sense of fulfillment or a sense of purpose that you are facilitating other people. And it doesn't have to, I don't think it has to be active. You're not necessarily seeking something for yourself. But I think when you're in a positive headspace, because I'm not going to say that people always do this, because if people are like not in a good place or they're on like a self-destructive thing, people don't necessarily do the things that only benefit them.
Yeah.
But I think when you are when you're making like positive choices, even if they're for other people, they are also like for you.
Just for yourself, yeah.
Yeah. Would you ever consider yourself, you know, like, obviously you would class the facilitation as being your practice. Would you ever consider it as not even being necessarily an artistic practice? You just like to be
a facilitator.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is obviously something that I've now got to start thinking about, being in third year and stuff like that, and going forward.
Yeah.
What I actually want to do, kind of projects and how they work within sort of sculpture, and how they work, like sort of facilitation works within a institution as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how can your friends be, or how can your sort of cohort be how can that friendship be marked as your BA?
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite hard to kind of...
Is it the friendship that's being marked, or do you want the collaboration?
Well,
the
from
product, yeah.
the institution
10
side
out
of
of
things,
10, you're good friends, you spend 4 hours a week together, you have regular catch-up.
Studentship's something that we are sort of like looked at. So studentship is about being social, and being present
like
in the space.
Student engagement, I guess. Praise yourselves, people.
Yes, be praised.
These are all like things that we all know are really beneficial and are really important, but they're so intangible. So then how does
that get marked?
How can that be get marked?
Yeah.
We do have another talk coming up on
Good pedagogy.
that
none of us can pronounce.
Where I think we'll go into that a little bit more, because I feel like that is hard, because it is one of those like intangible things. How can you quantify that, and can you quantify that, and should you quantify that?
How can you quantify our degree anyway?
Yeah.
Which is the difficult.
Going back to one of these questions, I've just read it. What are your thoughts on friendship? Not as great as a cream egg.
We've got one about a cream egg here as well.
They must have been sat next to each other.
This person says, you'd do anything for them, even hunt for a rare white cream egg.
Which can only be sold in Sainsbury's, Tesco and Co-op.
Really?
And you'll be able to find them on the box if you look at the allergens, because it'll have to tell you if it's white chocolate or not. So that's how you find them.
Why people should be listening.
Tips from Charlie. Let's
tune in next week.
That is a truly altruistic. It's a truly altruistic guy. Because I'm vegan and I cannot consume them. So.
You probably want someone else to enjoy it though, because it's not chocolate.
No, that's what I'm saying. I was saying that was a self-attack. Am I telling you this?
I see.
Because I'm vegan.
What's the self-attack? Charlie is so altruistic.
Oh my god.
And then they put underneath like a question about friendship. Are they a true friend if they don't like cream eggs? I think that's a fair question.
I'm not a true friend.
You don't need to.
I absolutely freaking love it.
Right. Katie apparently doesn't like cream eggs, so it's just that list. Doesn't like cream eggs.
how that feels in terms of your kind of friendships. And if it was in another industry, say you're working in H&M, and your manager is like, hey, I really need you to talk to all your friends about coming to H&M and buying more stuff. And really, I expect that to be part of what you do. And I will know if you don't do it. Because that's kind of how we have to function as artists. Because if you didn't rely on that network of things. Like, well, no one would come to your shows for a start, and you wouldn't know about what kind of stuff. So we have to kind of like work. I was going to say weaponize, but like workanize your friendship relationships in order to do anything. So that was my question. I also wanted to add a little bit. But the short thing is, like, how do you feel about that leaving it together? The other thing is, like, have you ever experienced the thing where you feel like someone is workanizing or friendinizing a relationship with you? Like, they contacted you on social media or whatever. Hey, I like your stuff. I want to talk to you about this thing. Blah 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 blah. A few messages down the line, tactical thing down the line. Hey, I'm doing a thing. Would you do some work in it for free?
Yeah.
Those things, and then you kind of have a feeling that person can vanish as soon as the deadline is finished.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of the, like has basically for the younger generation, has friendship been ruined? Is my question.
That's really hard.
Yeah,
Do you know the White Cube? They're like, they publish.
Oh yeah.
They had a really like interesting bit of writing just before Christmas, kind of about that like burnout from the gig economy, and that you're always kind of expected to do stuff. People are always like messaging you to ask you to do stuff for free.
Yeah.
But then also about lots of other things as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it just made me think of that. So if anyone wants to read something interesting.
Well, it's kind of like that thing that, like, as soon as you finish your show, someone's already on your back, ready to kind of say, oh, well, you could do this. So it's like this constant.
Yeah.
And like, is that a genuine thing, or do they just kind of see something that they like and think, oh, I can kind of like get on that and then disappear?
Some people maybe don't even know the difference. Maybe they literally there is no difference anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard because I think if the nature of like when you're effectively like if you are like after you graduate you're working self-employed, like you're everything for yourself, so there's no clear defined on and off time. And that maybe as well as being really beneficial to just chat with friends and to have that there, I guess like you're saying, it can also be people not respecting your time in the same way, because when you are wanting to just like relax and burn off steam or whatever, and you're in the pub and you just want to chill, but someone's trying to plug you really hard for something, or they want you to do something.
They just want information out of you or something.
And it's hard because like that boundary is not as clearly defined, because you do have those chats with them, it's just that that's maybe not the time you want to have them, but because there's not a specific like working location and working relationship. I guess like if you did have like a more, say you worked in an office and then you guys went out for office drinks, I think everyone would all be on the same wavelength, that you're not going to go out to talk about work, you're going out to talk about other things.
Yeah, but when does it kind of stop for us?
Yeah.
Just on that thing about the H&M thing, you know, he said kind of view it in the same way. Obviously, that was a little bit in the whole thing. I was thinking, I think the difference being with being willing to help people within the art world, and then say, for example, if your boss told you, was that what it was? If your boss told you to bring your friends in to buy, it's like kind of like the people. If I asked one of my friends to help me with my artwork, they'd be more inclined to do so because they're my friend, whereas they're not H&M's friend.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Or also, like we were saying, labour exchange, like mutual exchange.
Yeah.
They might help you, you might help them.
But it's your job. It's like, I need your help to keep my job, which is kind of the same thing.
Right. Okay.
Underneath it all, it's the same thing with the art. Even though, and I think there's obviously that thing where art is treated as not really a job because you enjoy it so much. Therefore, you shouldn't need to be paid as much. Which I think is part of the thing that goes with it. While kind of can be expected to work for free. But underneath it, if I'm like, say, like I'm a promoter and I'm putting on a night, I need a certain number of people in there, otherwise I effectively lose my job in terms of that venue won't let me put anything on there again. So I need all my friends to come down. Now, they don't owe the venue anything, they're doing it because they're my friends. It's kind of the same thing, and I just think like you're being like another resource of yours, other than your time, is being lent on, and and they really should be paid. People get paid to do that, to go and find people and get people to come. I mean, effectively, that's what the promoter's job is to convince people to come. So to make it like an extra thing that you should be doing on top of your, and it's not in your job description, seems a bit sus, but it's part of, but again, it's just fed into what we do as artists, that you've got to use all that stuff.
But
Yeah,
then
that's quite
people so
interesting
easily
thought,
become irritated by you.
Yeah, and then
You're
be like,
constantly like,
I don't
come
think
to
like,
this.
people are just I know the only reason they have me on Facebook is they're going to ask me to come see their like Turgis band every 6 months. Like, I don't need that. But yeah, so I mean, I noticed a few of my friends have started having like a disclaimer on their like Instagram or something like that. It says, "Don't talk to me about my work. Like, you want to commission me? There's my website." Because you feel like the friendship thing is a way of, it's hard if you're friends with someone. It's hard to charge them full whack for anything.
Definitely.
You're meant to not. So that seems to be that some people know that you can, by being friends with someone, you suddenly. I mean, I don't know if I've done it as overtly as that, but I do know that like my friend will give me their book for free. I don't have to buy their book. My friend will give it to me for free. I don't think I've been smart enough to make friends with someone specifically to get their book, but obviously there is that thing, and I think some people do. Like, this is not an opportunity that I can offer you what you're worth. So I'll just make it harder for you to say no by being lovely with you.
Being friends with you.
Put that pressure on you, because it is harder to say no the more they know you.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I know my friend Donnie that's going to be coming doing a talk in a couple of weeks. If he asks me, he asked me to come to this festival that he puts on, and like I'm normally busy with work or whatever, and if I don't make it, I feel terrible, like because I am friends with him. Whereas if that was just someone who like linked me up with something, like a promoter, I'd be like, whatever. Do you know what I mean? But with the friendship, with all its benefits, it does add a burden to you, where you're like, you kind of have a responsibility. And
I think as well, like in that like art context, I think it can only like for it, because I really hate it when I don't like the idea that it tips into like a really corporate thing, but it's really hard for it not to sometimes use the language of the corporate world, like strategy and networking, because what you are doing is often networking, even though you don't want to frame it as that. Like, but like, I think to kind of try and like protect yourself a bit, I think a good rule is that like you like your relationship with the person has to exist outside of them asking you for stuff. Like, you're not friends with them if you don't also do other things that are like non-work related, not just you doing them a favour.
But you can have positive relationships that are like that, that are like kind of, support your work, but especially if you're in a freelance kind of thing, you can be well, I'll invite this person on if I'm told I can recruit someone else, and they'll do the same thing back. But it's a define different things when they start. I guess it's when it's like social codes, like when people do the wrong thing. Like, we're like you were saying before about the conversation, don't know how to talk outside of work, and it's like, when people break the rules and come up, we're just mates, and now suddenly you're asking me to write a press release for you or something like that, and it feels suddenly a bit weird. It's because someone's got it wrong, but I guess you kind of have a feeling with most people, like how much you're prepared to give them, or what your relationship is.
Yeah, definitely. But I think
how do you think that could work within a sort of a BA as a student? Like, how much would you be willing to give the person next to you? Like, because we all share studios. Obviously, in professional you go and rent a studio or have your own studio. Sometimes you're hiring next to someone else's as well. Like, how much would you offer this kind of? We're friends, but actually we've got to stay this like.
Yeah, I feel like there might be quite a hidden message within people developing friends, especially in the studios and stuff. Like, make friends with people and stuff. But underneath, it's really like, just in case we need each other for something. Do you know what I mean? It's like they have the common rooms within like galleries and like studio spaces. Like at Newbridge, they had that common room where they had like food and stuff. And it's like, we'll come because we like really want it'd be dead cute. But in reality, it's like, just in case I need you, because I can't do it for myself. Do you know what I mean?
It's kind of it's the kind of thing about hanging out. Like
that we can do that. We're encouraged to hang out.
Yeah, in Squires 417, they turned that one of the project spaces, one of the studio spaces into a lounge, like a social space. And you use it, even though your studio's the opposite side of the wall.
Just socialise.
But it's that kind of like just hanging out, kind of being there, and just offering up the fact that we've held stuff there. We do screenings, writing workshops, or whatever. Some during that week, but it's it's that culture of being around people a lot of the time as well, and like again, someone next to you, you kind of like going, well, I'll keep you close. Yeah.
Well, I don't like that. If I get that feeling from someone, that's a real.
If I've got that feeling yet.
If I have had people in the past who don't talk to me, but then talk to me because they want something, and I know that
What if they talk to you all the time, but?
No, they don't, and they then like I know they can suddenly pay you loads of attention because they want something, and it's like a bit. I feel like if you don't have that established friendship there, personally for me, that's crossing a boundary where I feel like they're trying to use me a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm quite happy to do things with people, but even if we don't have that friendship there, like I need it to be a mutual exchange.
Yeah, you need to have a conversation about it rather than them say, in a bit of a kind of sly, smoochy way where they're like,
yeah, exactly.
rubbing shoulders with you.
What I think about when that kind of think about that is like, what else are you getting from the friendship? Like obviously we're on about the emotional thing, but like if it's just someone that's like just you have a conversation, you've developed conversations with, and they can talk to you without necessarily wanting something initially. When you feel comfortable with that person, and then but then you become willing to like do stuff for them. What are you getting out of it that makes you willing to? Because you said you feel like you've been exploited. In order to not feel exploited, you would have to be getting something from it.
Well, just like an established relationship outside of the fact that you have something that they want.
Yeah.
Or
what do you
could
get?
Do something for them that they want to be done.
What I mean is, what do you get from that established relationship?
I guess you feel more emotionally invested in someone.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know, that's a good question.
Because I was just thinking there, like obviously you do have, would be emotional ties with friends and stuff, and like they're there if you need them, but like obviously you were saying you would feel like you're being used unless you'd spent the time developing a relationship with someone beforehand. That established relationship, what are you actually getting out? It's like a completely intangible thing. You don't know what you're getting out of it, but you feel like you're being less cheated if you spent, because they've given you their, I guess would it be like they've given you their time, so you're more willing to give you them.
Well, they've given you, if you're friends with someone, they've given you their time, they give you their emotional energy, so it's fair for them to expect some in return.
Yeah.
But I think it's difficult if it's a one-way.
Yeah. I
think friendships have to be, when they work, they're working because they're working in both directions.
Dual carriageway.
Is dual carriageway.
Back to the dual carriageway friendship.
I feel like
dual carriageway friendship.
It's the affective thing though, that feeling, like I feel warm to this person, therefore. But I don't know who they are, they're just some random person, I don't feel that. But then I kind of wonder again, like how much can that be kind of played? Like, when you're talking, when Charlotte talking, I kept hearing like Marlon Brando, you come to me on my day of my daughter's wedding, you asked me for this, and I felt like that. It's like, well, if he hadn't come on a day of his daughter's wedding, if you come a week before and you like knocked on, would it be all right? And I wonder how much backtrack does it need? And I just wondered if it, and this been really, really skeptical about it. I don't know, maybe our language is not enough to explain the difference between feeling like, you care for these other people and you want to support them, to just being a bunch of like, I don't know, like I guess almost like a union kind of situation where you kind of watch others' backs a bit, but ultimately you are an individual within it, and like, had to get past that. So like you guys as a year group or whatever, or like a whole student body or whatever, like when you become like a unit, like we are this unit, or when you just become a bunch of people who will cover the other one if they're sick,
Purpose? Is that sense of purpose that creates that? I don't know.
So I was just
within their body.
As in like, so that we're not just, like we're all a year group, but like, rather than just being a collection of people that happen to go to Northumbria this year and happen to be in our year group, like we become an active group if we have a common purpose, maybe? I don't know. Which I think is why, and also, you're never going to get that with 50 people. We're not all going to have that, which is why smaller groups develop within the year group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're like named group, it's what partially helps it. Like
Yeah.
Bunker is a thing that is comprised of all of you, rather than it just being whoever's in it. Like,
Yeah.
with that identity, like doing the thing as a group helps.
Well, this is an interesting thing, because obviously the National Student Survey that you have to do is all about, they word it in a way that's like kind of broadly speaks to every course that there is. So like within the fine art sort of strand, we have these collectives that are going on. So you have like the bunker, you have the exhibitions that have been going on, you have your exhibitions in your year, and they do, so like there's this question that kind of relates to something study choices or something like this. So but it's these study choices that are our own as well. So it's these collectives help the camaraderie, the kind of social engagement within the 50 people, even if there's 5 people doing it, that kind of does relate to kind of go, oh, actually I'll get together with my friends and we'll do an exhibition, and they go on to do that. Or
I guess if you see other people doing it, you're more like, oh, I might do that as well.
Yeah, and I think, but there also is this like negativity between, or versus. So like if you see someone else do it, you verse it. Like it
Competition.
Competition. And it's just like sometimes it should be, some of these collaborations, these collectives are more about the kind of, let's say the bunker itself, we are the 5 people that come together to invite people in to have a bit of a discussion. But it's still seen as a 5-group friendship, or is it still?
I was kind of viewing this though as like an extension of looking, do you know what I mean? Extension of like us as an initial group of friends. Yeah. Extending that arm out. That's why I was quite willing, when we had the discussion about whether people in the gallery would be able to come up and talk. I thought that was a really important part of it, because it's about.
It's not meant to stay as a closed network. It's like part. I guess for us, part of the purpose of having the conversations and the topics of them are to like try and engage more people in that discussion, because we don't know what the answers are, and the more people that discuss it, the better or the more ground that you explore.
You'd be able to understand it more. I think, especially with topics like this that are so like would be like quite a sociological topic, friendship. Because they're not hard. It's not hard fact, is it? It's like it's something that needs to be discussed, and the only way you can do that is by opening up to other people. Like I learned that in doing sociology A level. You spend a lot of time talking with a lot of other people, because it's the only way you can start to like unpick things and figure things out and start to develop rationales with things. And develop your own rationale, which makes sense for your own.
I think openness is really important, what you said, like not being like an exclusionary kind of group, but like a thing that anyone could join. But also like openness about how you're doing it. When you're talking about like sociology group, I was thinking, like, I can think of examples where people have worked together, you know, I'm going to meet up, we're going to have a chat about this stuff, and then someone in the group has just gone and written a paper and used all the material from the group to write a paper that is theirs. And in certain circumstances that might be completely inappropriate. You know?
Definitely.
You know, because you're effectively using the labour of all these other people. And that's something I always wondered, because I always worry about sometimes when I'm doing stuff like, I put on reading groups quite a lot, because I have trouble reading on my own, so I get people to do it. But then I'm really conscious that I can't do anything with the reading group, because I'm effectively using the work of all these people that might not acquiesce to doing that. There's no reading group if they're not there. They contribute stuff. They contribite simply by being present. I can take a photograph of a reading group and there's value for me. I can say, look what I did. So there's that thing of like openness to things coming in, and openness to like disclaimer, like being really straight up, and maybe, you know, if no one agrees, you can't go and write about this, then you can't go and write about it.
How do them reading groups work? I'm quite interested in that. How do you what is it that people go away and then you come and discuss? Yeah,
you just like keep track of the thing and go, someone's in charge and says, we're going to read this chapter.
Oh, you could really collect like together?
You read it on your own. Generally the ones I do, like I would say, go home, read the thing, read the chapter, or whatever it is. We decide the speed based on the people in the group and how hard the text is, and then go meet up and then talk through. And I've been to some where they do really short text and you turn up and read it there, but it kind of feels really awkward. I can't read with other people around me. So we do it, and then everyone goes, oh, I thought I understood this bit, and then someone else understood this bit, and between all of you, you get an idea of the whole text, and that's quite useful. But again, yeah, to use that, I've been in places where people have not even thought twice about photographing the thing, and that has become part of their practice, which is ethically very dodgy, I think. Some people do, and they do it fine, but I think in general it is a thing to be very wary of, because like you were saying before, there's all kinds of different value. You know, like if I curate a show and everyone puts work in it, even if we all pitched in equal amounts of everything, if my name can exist as a thing that encapsulates all of it and be the person who is responsible for it, I've automatically accrued more value off the basis of other people's stuff. And that's even before you get to the thing where people are like, all the artists have to pay for their work, I'll charge you for curating, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I just think these things are worth having a look at, and I personally kind of err on the side of caution and try and do as much where it isn't going to be a thing that can be turned into value, because I don't want the people not to come to reading groups in case they get quoted. You know.
Do you, are they people you have established relationships with? Are they like
generally open? But they'll start with people I know, and then I'll ask people I know who are reading this similar text and say, let's come and do this thing, and then it expands. Some of them I join with other people. You know. I think it's a careful of economies. You know, don't accidentally be extracting stuff from your mates.
That's quite interesting. We've got another discussion, like I can't remember if it's next week or the week after, about like ownership and authorship, because I guess that kind of like links quite closely to friendship, and as well like because it can be harder to draw those boundaries if you're friends with someone, because you don't want to say something. You don't want to be like, I don't know, like it's harder to say no to people, and I don't know, protect your own work.
And sometimes even you can be less confident in a friendship kind of situation asking about specifics. You know, that same thing, if like your mate asks you to do something, it might be harder to ask them how much you might going to get paid. And you might not know, because sometimes it comes in dribs and drabs, the information. You're like, I just want you to help me out with this thing, and help me out with this thing becomes a thing that's like, really, if anyone else would ask me that, I would give you my standard like costing chart for my time. So
and expect deadlines and stuff like that, which you
and I have a strict idea of the relationship. Like, where is this going?
That kind of comes back again to that whole, like, all the boundaries just do get quite blurred.
You set boundaries with your friends.
But did you always, like, feel like that? Like, or has that just developed as you've got older?
Well, it's like,
because I can't imagine you, like, graduated and then were giving out price lists to your friends.
Is that
No. I don't know. I think I used to be really comfortable with doing work with other people, and then I started to think about these things and suddenly felt very, very uncomfortable with it, and realised the stuff I'd been doing, like I'd been putting on shows and doing the whole thing of like, well, I've got no money for the show, so I can't pay anyone, so I'll just ask them if they want to do it. And then I started thinking, maybe there's other power involved in this that isn't necessarily fair. And maybe the offer of the show is not like definitely a good thing. Sometimes not the show is the better answer. And I just started to think back about some of this stuff. There's made a lot of kind of weird things with like being given a budget to put on a show and trying to work out how to account for the different kinds of work that people were doing, and like really, really struggling to work out how to pay people. Based on what they were doing, and it's really, and some people, like your mates, are like really, really willing to be exploited, and I'm like, I don't feel fine about it. I don't feel fine about it. I'm really worried that you also won't feel fine about it tomorrow. And then we can't turn the clock back. And I've had even stuff like organising things based on a friendship basis. The friendship has been really, really tested by something outside of it, like, not mentioning any names, certain universities taking a really, really long time to fulfil an invoice. And my friendship being actually put through the ringer because I was the point of contact and we're mates, and I said, this is what you're going to get, and then I have to be like, they sucked on it, I'm sorry. So just super cautious about engaging with my friends. In some ways, it's easier just to deal with a straight random person and go, hey, here's what we pay, here's the whole thing. But then you can't do that if you're like you've got the money. So
because it's quite an interesting thing about, especially from the context of this. We've like asked our friends or people we know to like come and think. But I've always made sure that when I was asking my friends, I don't know whether it's that there was always something that they could get out of it, because I feel like if they're doing it just for my gain or our gain, it's almost, I was always very conscious of that like I wanted to make sure that they could still get something out of it.
And in our eyes, most people that came to this table would get something from it.
Yeah.
But these people that we're actually inviting solely to have this discussion, or like at the core level, is more important. Yeah. So we've got Dom and Donnie and
Georgia,
Joanna and Tom.
I think that's like,
it can be mutually, it can be fine even without any money. You think about all these people that go on TV and radio to hype their new book or something like that. I don't know how it always works, but I'm sure sometimes there's no money. But the idea is that you're getting something, platform, I offer you platform, you offer me content. And that's the kind of thing that's kind of balanced.
For me, it boils down to then, it's like, what is everyone wanting from, it sounds quite broad, but what is everyone wanting from life? Like, because you obviously create these networks and you create these ideas and you create these things that you want to achieve. The only way you can do that is by networking or by being friends with people and like them helping you out and this and the other. And it all comes down, and if you boil it right down, it is like, it goes back to the altruistic idea as well. It's like, you're never doing anything for someone else. It's always like, because you want to do it. Because you want something from something. Like, say for example, they give you the platform to promote your new book. Like, that's it boosts your career. And then like.
But that shouldn't be a bad thing. It shouldn't be seen as like, altruism is seen as like a thing that's like, oh yeah, you should do that. You should feel ashamed. It's like, why do we not want to come and perform for free at our venue? But it's an ecology. It has to be sustained by things that sustain each part of it. Like if you're just burning out all these bits, then eventually the ecosystem kind of collapses. You have no more people you can ask to come and be on your radio show because you've like burned them all. So it has to be a thing like that. And I think just by being open, talking about it, rather than it being like, oh yeah, we're talking about funding. Yeah, I'll get back to you. Just being totally straight about it and acknowledging the relative power positions of people and stuff like that. And it's totally cool. I really think. But it's just being straight about it, and so much of this stuff, this friendship network, the exploitative part of it, goes on the unspoken. Like the I can't survive on exposure alone kind of thing, where like you're made to feel uncomfortable about asking if you're going to get paid. But by being totally straight about stuff, that stuff's allowing people make informed choices and informed consent to be part of a thing or not, and not feel like. Not feel like a bum because you're like, well, actually, I need bus fare. So,
I think, I was thinking about what you were saying about like the power that might be at work in that, and I was wondering, like everyone here, like what you think about, can a friendship really exist if there is a power differential between the two individuals? Can you have like a true friendship? So, for example, if you make friends with, like, I don't know, your supervisor, and you're really good friends, but, like, is that truly friendship? Because ultimately, like...
Yeah.
You specifically, Liv.
I'm not going to Liv, she's next to me, but anyone can answer this.
Power inferences are a hard one, really. But, I don't know, I'd say that...
So is that like, say for example, me being friends with the tutor?
Yeah, but you can, because I'm wondering if you've got that difference of, I mean, maybe not power, because power would maybe different word than power, because power.
Age, experience,
like position.
I think it sounds like power.
I don't know, but then I'm thinking power, and I'm thinking, okay, so we could go into more like institutional things there, like if there's an institutional power differential, so like
social power.
More like as in like forms of privilege, like how does that also comes into like power differentials and people feeling like they can't say no to things, or that
I was going to say, it sounds an awful lot like we're getting into Me Too with this, which is that, you know, there are all the other layers of power that is just, you know, this person has got clout, they're a famous artist.
Can't
and
say
you have
no.
to mention, I can't say no to the thing. They're asking me to be a part of their work for nothing, and like I can't but somehow this magical spell is cast over me.
Yeah. Or you know, like if you feel,
or like you can possibly be taken advantage of.
Yeah. Well, for example, like a lot of galleries, right? We've all seen like the Guerrilla Girls work.
Yeah.
So like lots of galleries where there are way less women artists represented. If you were then, I know this exhibition is very good. Well done, Gail.
53% male to 47%.
That is way more balanced than normal.
Yeah.
But so I'm thinking like then if, for example, one of us three like got asked by a gallery, said, "Oh, we can show your work, but we can't pay you." I feel like that fact that it's so rare to get represented by somewhere like that.
You'd say yes.
I would feel under extra pressure to do something for free, because I feel like that opportunity is more
value.
It's so hard to get to.
And would that be would you use that to then gain friendship? And then do you think you'd have more leeway and more privilege if you decided to do something for free?
I don't know, but I think that they, in a way, like galleries and other institutions can exploit that and get people to do things for free.
How do you feel about making a decision? Say you'd like, okay, I know that if I was a man, they would have just paid, but it's so rare to like get.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that if you say yes?
That like morally angry, very angry. And it's so hard though, because then in life, like you have to like take your opportunities. But because when you engage in that, you're reproducing the system that is oppressing you. But if you refuse to engage in it, you're also biting the hand that feeds you.
Yeah.
So what can you do? You're in a double bind.
Yeah, I've just wrote something down there. It's like you're selling your soul to benefit yourself in the future, but in the same instance, by doing that, you can perpetuate the problem.
Yeah.
It just becomes norm. It's like, it's quite an extreme example, but if forever people like, when it comes to black rights, if everyone always accepted that the black people had less rights than white people in the early 20th century, if that still carried on and no one stood up and went, no, that is morally unjust, and hindered themselves as people in order to benefit in the long run. If no one had ever done that, it would just perpetuate this idea and it would just carry on, because then it obviously comes in like the ability for people higher up within powers to exploit, because
the other end of the power stick though is the pressure that it puts on people. So some people might be under more pressure. So like the thing that gets peddled around with like strike breakers, the strike's happening and other people get brought in to do the same job, scabbing and breaching the picket. Now, on one hand, they're undermining the strike, they're undermining the power of the work to get its own struggle, but there's also the pressure on them as individuals. They might be under a significantly larger amount of pressure, and that any opportunity to get anything that stops their family from starving is worth it. So it's like an arrow. There's like a beginning and then there's a top and bottom to it all the time.
Like a push and a pull.
The ability to actually make the choice is in itself a privilege. Like you have to be in a certain level of privilege to always make choices that morally you feel right with, because if you you don't have any money for food, like
you're gonna have to
do things you don't agree with.
Poor choices.
The crippling capitalist system.
And I was also thinking about like burden on like, because I was thinking about like often like the burden that's put on people, like people of colour or women, to go about and spend so much emotional energy explaining like how like structural oppression operates, and like that is like demanded of them as labour, the people who like are being disadvantaged by their system, and if they refuse to do it, it's seen as like, oh, you're not doing anything to help. But like, so like again, but that is the power system reproducing itself by the burden of trying to actually create any change being put only
on
on the people
that
who
are really
are being oppressed by the
struggling, yeah.
system. Like it's never. Oh, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah,
I
and
feel like
like
wild
a goodwill
left
on
to
the part of the person, kind of
Yeah.
asking, not really asking, but not really asking, just seeing like how long to
Yeah.
burn out with it.
Well,
and,
like you see, like all the like Twitter trolls going at it, saying, "Well, you need to explain to me why this means that, and why." They could just Google it. They don't need you. Like, why do you have to spend all your emotional energy explaining to them why something that they are doing is misogynistic, or that something that people are, yeah, I don't know. I feel like this has gone a little bit off of the art topic.
But that's why we're doing it.
We're talking about power, so.
But it is a gender thing, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm thinking with my partner the other day in Greg's, and got my coffee from Greg's, and the woman serving me things like super nice. Oh, you have a really nice day. And my partner's like, yeah, imagine a man doing that kind of emotional labour for free.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. like when you're told, like, oh, smile, love.
Who says
I get that
that?
all
Oh
the
my
time.
god, all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
You get that?
I get it as well, yeah, at work all the time. It doesn't cost a smile, you know, and I just go,
Or like
there's a
random,
tip jar there.
literally
Yeah.
random men in the street coming up to you and being like, "Oh, you look much nicer when you smile," and you're like, "Oh, hello, unsolicited human that I've never talked to." Like,
it's like a part of maybe there's like a social thing where like women are expected to perform that work. I mean, it's not revolutionary to state that. Like they're expected to perform that work as part of a normal thing. Your job is to do the explaining, to do the teaching, to do the stuff that's also not regarded as work.
yeah, I like all that.
Has no value, and yet I'm going to ask you to do it all day.
Yeah.
You know?
And expect you to do it, and if you don't,
Yeah.
And
if
expect
you,
you to
if
enjoy
you don't
doing
do
it.
You're. It's not just that you're not like it's not just neutral. That's you under like not fulfilling something you're rather than
expected
just
to
being
do.
neutral.
Yeah, and it's like you have no way of explaining it. That's the argument. It's like if you can't, then you don't. Whereas I'm sure, like, you know, I don't know. I was going to say maybe you could like ask Richard Dawkins that something on Twitter, and he would be like, "That's so basic. I don't need to explain it to you."
Yeah.
And all the other fedoras would be like, "Yeah, you don't have to stick to your level. You're not smart enough."
Yeah.
Rather than like, you know, you don't know.
Yeah. Yes. Rather than every woman who ever expressed an opinion on Twitter getting threatened.
Emotional labour.
Yeah. Emotional labour. Everyone read a bit of Judith Butler, maybe. Why not? Just gonna plug that. There's loads of really interesting sociology stuff about emotional labour and unpaid work, and how that is a really gendered thing.
We might touch upon it again.
We can touch upon it again. But yeah, I feel like we've come to the end of our battery life, guys.
Yeah.
Who's going to close the show?
Oh, we don't actually.
We
Yeah,
are.
we have been
how long have you been going for?
on air.
Because we finish at
3.
3, don't we?
Despite being late.
Yeah.
Sorry, that
What's
sounded
the
like a
thoughts,
dig.
guys?
That wasn't a dig.
Or have people still got a few things they need to go? All right, let's keep going.
Well, I just wanted to sort of mention.
Should we work through some of these little slips and stuff? And
Yeah.
But that was Ralph.
That was
Yeah. Thanks to Ralph Dory.
Ralph Dory.
Sorry.
Not mentioning
Man
names.
with beard.
To keep a job.
No one listens to this.
Yeah, don't worry. No one listens.
So here we got. What are your thoughts on friendship? Seriously important, but should be on equal grounds with effort and treatment of people. And then they asked us a question. It was like, what does it mean to have a friendship with someone? Which I think we've already kind of
touched on.
We've touched on.
We've touched on it a little bit.
Is it okay to go with your mate's ex? There's another question.
Guys, is that okay?
What?
No.
It is not okay just to do not go with your mate's ex. That is horrible.
Absolutely
Should not
okay.
Someone drew some
boobies.
Some boobs.
Boobies.
So
also,
our friends being very helpful there.
We've had a few jokes.
Charlie. Wow,
glory.
you spelled friendship wrong.
I know I did. I know it's
Oh, Charlie.
I was so good.
I like it though.
I was so good.
You made multiple mistakes
friendship.
on these.
I was so good in the CAG. And I looked at it and I went, do you know when you like it kind of
I hadn't noticed.
on films where it goes like that, doof, 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 and you're like shit.
But it's the fact that you can own up to the fact that you've done it wrong and to your friends.
Yeah.
isn't it?
No embarrassment.
No
Yeah,
embarrassment.
I did a leafleting joblet. I did a leafleting job over the summer, right? And we'd literally done it straight
Story
for
time.
2 weeks for like walking like 20 kilometres a day. So we'd put them through a lot of doors, and then on that last day we noticed that they'd spelled something wrong. So, and it was like a really basic word, and I can't remember what it was. What was it? But it just made them look kind of stupid, and I'm not going to say who the company was because I don't want to get sued.
No
One
one
of these is about friendship makes life funny then.
Pardon?
So the fact that you can laugh at these problems, like because friendship makes life funny.
Yeah. Oh, that comes back to what because you were saying earlier, what is the purpose is then.
Yeah.
So, like, I think it is like maybe one purpose is a space to laugh and to feel like
School of life. One
To allow
purpose
to
was fun.
feel happy.
feel like, yeah, just like to let kind of go with some emotions and just like have a good time.
Because it's supposed to be separate
you don't.
from your
Yeah,
serious professional
you don't
life.
have to be really serious or think really hard about all of these things, and you just.
Yeah, sometimes it's nice you can actually literally sit with your friends.
You
and not say anything.
Yeah, and like your friends, you don't have to say anything. You can just sit and like watch telly. Like it really just being in the
Present.
company.
Present.
Not even speaking.
I love
Yeah.
that when I go home. That's the one thing that I really love
Yeah.
about going home. Like I go around to my friend's house, Dylan, and he always has friends around. It's like a big thing. Like everyone spends time with Dylan and Georgie. That's like great because we go around. Went round one Wednesday, and I don't often get to go and see them. But when I do, went round and we all sat. We didn't say anything to each other really. Just sat and watched Walking Dead and like Peaky Blinders and stuff, and just sat, ate food, had a couple of cans, and it's like you just feel like really calm. Like. And I think it's a nice thing to talk about as well because that power thing has really saddened me, by the way. Really,
Oh, Charlie.
the whole power thing really gets me and really, yeah. So friends are good for making you happy.
Yeah.
You need friends to keep yourself
Same.
energized and say, yeah, because I think if you're expanding a lot of emotional energy, you then need to recharge that somehow by doing something different.
Yeah.
But that's what I was kind of trying to say earlier about like it having to be a mutual exchange, because if it's just, I call it like emotional vampiring, if someone just comes to you for loads and there's nothing in return.
I love that emotional vampire.
I just think it's because it's something that you maybe like are really like don't notice, and then I think it's going to make me sound old. As you get older, and I'm not old, I'm a youth, so you know I'm sure it will happen more as I get older.
22,
but I think
nearly 23. Sorry.
That's extremely youthful, and it is.
I know it is. It was just.
Jesus. So I'm just like, for me, like it's something I've realised.
I also think it takes someone to say it to you, and then you go, "Oh, I've got like 10 friends that do that." Actually.
Yeah, and you're like, "Oh yeah."
You're like, "Oh."
Message me when they want something.
Yeah. So, but I think it's just about identifying those people and then putting your space between them. But you know, boundaries. Yeah. But friends are cool.
Friends are like stars, they come and they go, but only the true ones glow.
Oh!
That's from Dictionary Corner over here. Just
friends
definitions.
Friends are like stars. You may not always see them, but you know that they're there.
Oh.
That my nan has that in her kitchen on a plaque.
That's really nice.
Yeah, she's a cutie. Shout out, Nan.
Have you got?
Shout out, Nan.
I know you're listening.
Have you got some you want to read out, Katie?
I feel like mine are quite serious.
Are they? Hit us up.
So, for a question about friendship, has friendship amongst millennials become superficial?
I was kind of what Ralph was saying earlier, isn't it? Has friendship been ruined for us, and it's now? Oh no, it's a different thing.
Because unfriendly.
Yeah.
I've got a question here.
It's kind of social media.
Yeah. Are Facebook friends really friends?
Yeah.
Tinder really friends or real friends?
Are they really friends?
Yeah. Tinder as well, I find absolutely disgusting.
But that's not really for friendship.
It's not a friendship thing, but it's still like.
That's the sexual mode of.
Yeah, it's sexual.
Which, as we've established from the dictionary,
Dictionary Corner,
tends to be exclusively separate from friendship.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe leave Tinder out of this conversation then. I was talking to my friend the other day, and I said I feel like
Did you meet him on Tinder?
He was on. He was on Tinder, and I was like that's it's disgusting. Like you're reducing a friendship or a relationship with someone down to the fact that you either think they're good or not based on their
So it's
artificial.
book by its cover.
Yeah, it's
Like-
horrible. I just think it's horrible. Like,
I feel like people mainly use it as a means to an end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you think Facebook
Don't
works?
judge because some people in this room.
People,
Not me. I am not. Sophie, it's okay.
people
We'll
have
change
needs,
the
man. People have
topic.
needs.
So how do you think Facebook does like work within friendships, like the unfriending, the friending, the kind of
Actual
the
friends
whole
of
adding someone
Yeah.
just like what Ralph
Yeah.
was saying, adding someone just because I know he's gonna.
Do you remember when Facebook first came about? And it was literally everyone was obsessed with like, oh, how many friends have you got on Facebook? Or add me on Facebook. It's like you don't even know them. Like, add me on it anyway. Like you had all your year on Facebook and you talked to 3 of them out of a year. And like I remember I went through a big phase where
Did you do a cull?
I did like a delete of all these people that I've never spoken to in my life, but I've had on there. People I don't even like go to like schools like 10 miles away from where I live. I don't even know who they are.
I feel guilty.
They're just
like,
friends of a friend.
I
of
have
a friend.
filled, like my Facebook feed, but there are still people on there that I've kind of gone. Maybe not.
You've and ahed.
Just because every Christmas Eve I go to the pub and they're there, and it's just
And
kind
that
of
would
like.
just be awkward that one time a year.
But
Yeah.
it's gonna be but it's just.
And
like
you
very-
also don't know how much they notice you on their feed as well, because like, wouldn't it be an awkward thing if they were
I've
like,
hidden a few people.
have you? See,
You've
but
what?
Hidden people.
From your feed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that because I don't want to necessarily unfriend someone.
So what's their value?
I know
What's
a
their
few people
worth?
that have hidden people.
yeah. So
So
what,
is there
how-
only a feed?
Is it only so?
No,
that-
I don't want them. I don't want to see what they're doing. But like, I don't want to unfriend them because I
But if-
do
if-
like that person. But the things that they post, I do not enjoy to see.
Yeah. No, I know people that do that.
I'm not
like-
going to go into
that. I do not enjoy to see.
I understand. No, I totally get what she's saying.
I understand exactly what you're saying, because how many people like post all these weird like
But
like
if your
animals
friends-
dressed up in clothes and like.
I like those videos.
Why would you do that to an animal? Why?
I don't understand why
What?
people
Was
dress
that too loud?
dress animals up and that.
Shook. Did the speaker just blow?
What the,
No,
what's
but
the other one?
everyone's ears will-
I tell you, I know people that
Oh,
have like blocked or hidden people's posts
Yeah.
because of like they post about their own beliefs. Like say for example, being a vegan and posting vegan stuff. People will actually hide their posts because they're like, I don't want to see that. If I wanted to see that, I'd go find it myself. It's like, well, but they still want to be friends on Facebook. It's like, why? Like, I don't understand what the big deal is with having friends on Facebook. If that's the point where you don't want to see what they are passionate about, why have you got them on Facebook? Like, what difference does it make if like it's just a platform? If you're friends with them, surely it doesn't matter. Like,
I do. I use Facebook just for like
Events.
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 Like,
But that's how it's changed over the years, isn't it? Like we used to use it, but now we only use it to connect with people, like in a flash.
do you think we do that because?
But do we like sit there and like chat to people if we don't, you know?
I think we probably do that
Need them.
more because we're at university and we need to have that way of networking ourselves. Whereas people that don't necessarily, because like I know a lot of my friends from home or people I know from home, they use Facebook as this thing where they can like moan about their life and they put a photo of their pizza on or something.
Yeah.
And, like they use it as a genuine way. Like as if they think they genuinely have these friends that are like out there that they can like.
Yeah, I guess then like the purpose of it is different to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way.
And then what if you are a person that struggles to make friends, but you kind of like have all these friends on Facebook? No, like you have friends on Facebook, and that in your own head is your friendship group. Do you know what I mean? So like how, like we're kind of slagging it off, but like there are those people out there that you know. It's like
They extrapolated. I would say that they kind of, well, I don't know. They took the Messenger off Facebook.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they separated it. They kind of like went, you have to have 2 apps now to be friends.
Yeah.
To talk to someone, you have to be this. But to comment on someone, to be like, to kind of troll them on their pictures or comment on their pictures, you have to have this app. And it's kind of like.
it's really
which-
divided those two forms of like communicating, which is quite weird because
I don't
when you
understand
connect-
why either. I don't get why they've separated them.
when you connect them, they're both. Then it's more personal, but now that they're separate, it's kind of like, oh well, now you're just like a voyeur, just like looking through people. But then if you really want to talk to them, go on a different app.
I just go on Messenger, but then I'm like, what's the purpose of this when we could just use WhatsApp?
Yeah.
or any
or
other.
what's the purpose of WhatsApp?
Any other
non-sponsored.
non-sponsored.
What's the purpose of that when you can
I have
just
been
ring them up?
sponsored
Do
by
you know what I mean?
WhatsApp.
Like, you ring them up and do you want to go hang out? Like, do you want to come round for a coffee?
Yeah.
Or
But not everyone likes phone calls.
No, they do not.
I
Yeah, but-
love a phone call.
Edward
I'm a
Lawrence.
bit hit and miss with them. Like, I don't mind them with some people. Phone calls, I look at someone, if they're ringing me, I'm like, for fuck's sake.
What?
I don't really call
I
people
love
for
a
a
phone
phone call. It's usually because I don't want to text. It takes too long.
Yes.
Yeah,
If
you're
I just want to
not-
go, where are you? Okay.
You're not a great texter, you're quite,
No,
you're quite blunt with
Yeah,
it.
everyone always says that to me. They're like, you're so blunt on text.
Yeah, like
It's easy
I was
to
even
get
I was
on
trying to
to.
like I remember when you were doing the t-shirts and I was like trying to like get information out of you by why you couldn't get it on the back and you were just dead. You like missed out bits that were like would have been like, oh no, it wasn't about the back. It was like, oh, what did he say? Like, because I was trying to understand whether what type of format he needed the
Yeah.
stuff in. You were like, you just dead like crappily text me how like what he said.
But that's
Then
also
spoke
because
to
I
So-
don't understand what he was
and I spoke
saying.
to Sophie and she gave me all the
Yeah.
information I needed. And went, oh yeah, he said he just needed it as a JPEG.
But
And I
you
was
spoke-
like,
but
and
you
I-
Took me
spoke
so
to
long to
Sophie.
type because I
Yeah.
had my nails on and I was like.
and I was
But also, I didn't
And if you're speaking on
understand
the
what.
phone, I can explain stuff.
Yeah,
so
and it
much
was like,
easier.
I literally, I asked you the question, does he want it as a JPEG or the Illustrator file? And you went, just said he needs it. I was just like,
But that's my like techie thing that I just don't understand the thing. So I will just say.
And that's
yes.
why it's good to
Just
have
avoid it.
friends
Yeah.
who do
Who helped me with
understand
that stuff?
me, Zines last
Yeah,
year.
yeah. Charlie did
Legend.
listen to me.
We've all got our own strengths. Charlie, I'd say you've got the graphic strength.
Yeah, I really enjoy. I'd quite like, as Ralph was saying, I'm quite happy to sell myself for any one of my friends just to do a bit of graphics work for them, mainly because
You enjoy it.
I enjoy it, and if I see a bad piece of graphics, it winds me up. I'm like, that could have been fixed. If you'd have just come to me and asked me, I'd have done it for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I see people have like Bosch, they go post. It's great that they've like made posts themselves. I'm like, you would have articulated your message better if you'd have just like thingied.
Yeah, yeah. I've just noticed I had a point on here that I really wanted us to talk about that we haven't talked about.
Well, I
I know, I
think
haven't
seeing as we started 20 minutes late, we can probably go on for another 15.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if we say that we do
Maximum, yeah.
2 hours. and then we
It
can do
shouldn't
whatever.
take that long. It was just about conversation, because I know we've all talked before about how we think conversation is necessary for making.
Yeah.
But I think something that we have discussed in one of our Bait in the Rack
Yeah.
conversations, me and Katie.
Yeah.
Um,
The pointing doesn't work on radio.
what? Who knew?
Me
so
and you.
we hosted an event which we wanted to facilitate people chatting with each other about their work and their practice to help them create friendships within the year group and to help each other work in the way that we found that we could help each other. But we afterwards, one of our reflections was that we felt like there was a step before that it was missing.
Yeah. Because
Can you explain that a bit better than me?
was this the making tea
Yeah.
/ speed dating?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they didn't know each other's work well enough, and so then they couldn't ask the right kinds of questions to get to know the work any better.
Yeah.
So
So we were kind of wondering after that, like, what is the step before that? And like, how do you go about facilitating conversation, but not just conversation? How do you facilitate a meaningful conversation that has both depth and duration, and it's not just a one-time thing? It becomes that working friendship that Olivia was
The
speaking about
working
earlier.
friendship.
So how do you engage the person before they engage the next
No,
person?
well, so we thought that we wanted these people to have a chat about the practice, but if they didn't really know each other,
Yeah.
because they were just my seminar group,
So how do you facilitate a want to know?
yeah.
yeah, like what's the step before? How do we be facilitators of people mixing and getting to know each other, but in an art context?
Yeah.
Well, like
Because we wanted them to
Is that
mix
an important
to
bit to
help
put in
progress
there?
in their own practice,
yeah.
to help each other, but they couldn't help each other because they didn't know each other well enough
'Cause they spent the whole
ask the
time-
right things or like
So it's these kind of like
give the right advice.
with societies and like socials and doing stuff like that. That's
A society that is organising a networking social?
A networking social? Huh?
Has anyone heard
It's kind
about
of like,
that?
yeah, how would you kind of sort of do that?
I think that relies on everyone. Everyone has to be proactive and want to be interested in other people's stuff. Like,
so is it an individual proactive?
I think it is. Yeah.
So
I
it's
don't think
not it's not a case of finding that first step before the step.
Do you think you can facilitate that, or do you think it has to come, like, obviously you can't do it for someone, but can it be facilitated to help the process?
I think you can give people the opportunity in which to do it. You can offer a hand to get them to want to be interested in other people's work, but ultimately it's up to them, because there's a lot of people that, say for example, would do our course that don't spend a lot of time in the studios and won't interact with everyone else for whatever reason, personal, they don't feel comfortable, whatever. I'm not going to judge them, that's the way they like to navigate themselves, but ultimately people have to want to, or have to have the right personality to do that type of thing, and to be able to understand other people's work, want to understand. That's the main thing. You have to, it's like what we were talking about the other day, people have to want to do something before they do it. It doesn't matter how much opportunity and ability, like things you put out there for people to be able to do things, unless someone wants to do it, wants to go to that exhibition, wants to come into the studio and look at the work, wants to talk about something, wants to go for a pint, unless they want to do it, they would never do it.
Yeah, or if they don't do it, it won't be meaningful. Yeah,
they'll do it out of spite, or they'll do it because, like, begrudgingly.
It's, me and Katie were talking about that earlier, just in the sense that a lot of people we find on the course is about, like, everyone is chose to be here, but it's whether people actually enjoy art. And we were just, what were we saying?
Was it Susie Green that said yesterday that she was like, she wasn't sure, she was doing a BA at Newcastle, and she said she doesn't know whether or not she did enjoy art at that point, and it was only until, like, because obviously they had structures and they were going 4 years, and they were going, you're in sculpture, you're in painting, you're in this, so whether or not you do enjoy it, it's kind of like a really...
the context of being in the
undergrad.
Context of being in an undergrad in an art school that is situated within a university has a big impact on that, though, doesn't it?
Definitely,
like, whether you're still enjoying making art.
Because I always think about this, like, I'm still not sure, like, I'd like to say that I definitely love art, but I still don't know. I still get so many things, and it's so paradoxical that I still get frustrated and think, do I actually really enjoy this as much as that?
It's quite, the spectrum is quite wide though, because, like, so many people are frustrated with the course because there is no structure in their minds. Like, they've come from like, you know, college and stuff, and they view, you know, the art school as not having structure, not like having like a specific title to like a semester's worth of work. But whereas, like, I feel like sometimes, especially like you and me, kind of can be a bit more like, well, why do we have to meet this criteria, and, like, why does this need to be done? But it just kind of shows how, like, different, like, you know, these working friendships, like, what everyone really wants to gain from, like, the course in general. I don't think it's not just the course, because when you go to, like, galleries or, like, the preview nights especially, it's always the same people that turn up, and it's always the same people who maybe more involved with the course, so it's not really a separate like, interest with art and interest or like engagement specifically with the course itself, because if the problem is just with the ways of teaching, or like do you think the course still get like wider art?
But there's like I feel earlier about lack of network being limiting, because maybe if it's the same people are always that same thing, that become wider network of people who will be established friendships within that. And I guess I'm back to that point about how we make these networks work. We can't really avoid the fact that they do exist, and it's often how the world operates. But how do we make them accessible? And maybe we need to
I was worried about like, do we go to interview, do we network, do we get involved, do we like kind of commit ourselves to this community, even though however many times people might say they disagree with a lot of it, they commit themselves to the pressure and feel and worry that they might not ever get out of what they want to get out.
So like friendships on another level, with different plane.
Yeah.
You're working. Yeah, you're working hard. You're making yourself.
Yeah, so what Ralph was saying is kind of ultimately you need to live, it boils down to survival, basic survival, and you have to find a way to navigate within the capitalist society, which is economically driven, so you have to be able to a degree, like practical conservatism, you have to be willing to accept it and go, you know what, I'm going to do this to the extent in which I can do it. There's I was talking to Sean Ryder, lead singer of I was talking to Donnie about it yesterday, and he said he's an artist, he's like a musician who's never made a total amount of money, but he's never gone bankrupt because he knows that he's got kids that need feeding. And if he declares bankrupt, he hands over all his royalties. So that means he has no money, no income or anything. So he's never like wanted to make money off his artwork or his music, because I don't really differentiate the difference. But differentiate the difference. I always say stupid stuff.
Can we start like a side project, writing down all the silly things we say?
Yeah, that would be good.
But yeah, he'll never go. He'll always just make enough money to never go bankrupt, so that he can.
Yeah.
He's obviously acknowledged that he needs to navigate within an economic society, and that's kind of the way that this the system of the art world kind of works itself as well, because I think everyone is probably in the back of their minds know they don't really like to do it, but they have to, because that's what drives them as a person. That's what they're passionate about is art, and they want to pursue that in their life, so they have to commit themselves to unfortunate conversations you don't necessarily want to have with someone sometimes, or doing stuff that you don't necessarily want to do. Or
and you go ahead.
No.
I was just going to say, so sometimes you do want to do it, and that can depend on how much of an introvert or extrovert you are. Because I really enjoy
personality quiz.
Yeah, I love the personality quiz, but I do actually really enjoy and I think I get a lot out of just chatting away with people, and I love just going up to people and having a chat. But in that way, that's like a unfair bias as well, because I don't feel really intimidated or well, often, I mean sometimes I do, but it makes it easier for me to do that than if you're more of an introverted person, and in that way that can also affect who's able to get on in the art world.
Yeah, I'm starting to learn to enjoy that, embrace the networking side of it more, because I was quite begrudging with it.
Is that what you got from having the conversation today, starting from friendship definition to kind of it's come round to the fact that networking is good, bad?
I don't really think it's either. I think it's kind of necessary.
Yeah.
In the context
outside
of
the art world, just
in general,
I think it's
everyone does it.
But I think it's more important in art, probably.
More important.
I think it's important in a lot of things though, because people who work in business go to networking events, and if you're an entrepreneur and you have your own company and stuff.
Yeah.
Because how else are you going to find connections? But yeah, I don't know. We can only speak about it from our context, I guess. But yeah, I'm like you. I don't think it's necessarily good or bad. I think the actual word networking makes me think it's bad, even though it's not. Because the word networking is so cold and corporate, and it just sounds so horrible, and you're using people. So I don't know if we can try and come up with a better term for it, guys. Because
come on, brainstorm right now.
It just feels like not
mingling.
Because you're doing it with
mingling.
Friendly.
Yeah, I don't like mingle. Mingle makes you think it's quite sleazy, isn't it? It's
I'm
mingling.
Single, Pringle, ready to mingle.
Don't know, maybe we'll come up with a name.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to come back to friendship in the last over and out.
We will revisit.
Are we going to start to wrap up? Do you reckon?
I was thinking we're kind of summarising anyway.
So key points of the day.
Yeah. And I think there is even beyond, if you take it away from the networking, if you think about friendship, like Sophie was saying, it's important for just to be happy. Like it's just to keep you sane. It's good for your mentality. It's just like it's necessary. I think friendship is necessary for
life.
We'll see in like 5 weeks whether or not we're still.
Yeah, we're still friends.
Happy.
I'm going to write that down. Hold on, Charlie, say that again, and I'm going to write that as a quote, and we will revisit that quote.
Which
so,
one?
Whatever you just said.
Friendship is necessary for life.
And friendship makes you happy. Or what was it?
Just in a very basic form, it helps to keep you happy and sane.
I think.
Finish with your quote.
I kind of like this quote.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I really like it.
I found a quote that was like, I just typed in friendship quotes by artists, and it's just like comes up with random crap. But there's one here that's there's not a word yet for old friends who've just met. That's by Jim Henderson. Wow. Oh no, Jim Henson. Sorry, Jim Henderson is someone else.
Yeah.
Jim Henson, who made the Muppets.
Hey, shout out my man Jim Henderson.
Cool. Well, I guess that's a good place to finish.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Yeah, next week,
if you haven't at all, and the people that came in.
Yeah. Next Thursday is making.
Hang on.
The purpose of
making.
making.
The purpose of making.
So prepared.
I'm glad we're all doing our research.
The purpose of making.
I can't think of the actual names because Ed wrote all these like fake names for them all.
Is it definitely the purpose of making?
Yeah, and then Friday next week is Joanna,
Pedagogy, Tommy
and
Keenan, and TBC.
Yes. Yeah. And then the week after we are doing.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, we have been The Bunker. If you've been listening, thank you for listening. And if you haven't, then how would you know? I don't know.
All right. Okay.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.